Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are live. We are live. Hope everyone's doing well. Let's see who's in the house here. Bless Brian. What up, G? Big D keeping it real. What up, my boy? Much love. Renee. Brenda Love. D1. What up, G? Lucy. Hope all is well. Let me see. Good afternoon. How's it going? Man, I seen that. That's messed up, man. That's a terrible tragedy right there. Let me see. Little Ray Ray. What up, G? Just waiting for everyone to jump on here. Hope everyone is doing well. We're gonna get a good conversation going. Have a great guest. So let's go ahead and bring them on. Sinaloa, what up, G? Moses Cuevas, what up, G?
Yo, what's good? What's good, man? What's good? We in the building. I hope all is well.
Yes, sir. Hey, appreciate you. First of all, just want to thank you for taking time to join us today, homie. Much love.
Yeah, definitely, man. We talked, I believe, a good year or two ago, and it's time, and I'm finally glad that we're able to get together and you know, actually sit down and chop it up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I know you've been you've been on a few different. Well, and it's kind of crazy because it seems like you're really selective about the places you do interviews. I kind of noticed that. You know what I mean? I was like, oh shit. So I appreciate you again. I appreciate you jumping on. And I know you've told your story a lot. So we'll definitely touch on your story, but I do want to get into like the main thing that you're known for, which is the fitness and also how mental health has to deal with that. So I want to touch on that. Before we do, could you just and I know you explained it many times, but could you summarize a little bit of how you grew up?
Yeah. Well, my name is Moses Cuevas. For the people that don't know, I'm a YouTuber. I do fitness and motivation, inspiration. If I have a little bit of background. I grew up in foster homes and group homes in the system. I come from a family of gang banging, city of Los Angeles. I grew up in the city of Anaheim though, and that's where I'm from. But I pretty much have been around, I've all over really. But yeah, man, I got incarcerated for committing a violent act against another individual. Almost killed him. He didn't die, thank God. And I got a second opportunity, second chance, and so I'm just making the best out of this second opportunity, man. And so with that being said, I just share my successes and also my past, with my experiences, and I use that as motivation. And yeah, man.
That's one thing that I've always admired about people and that I try to do. And how important you think that is? Because I want people to understand that when we speak about our past, it's not in a way to glorify the actions that we did, but it's a way to measure the level of growth that we've had, and also to show like this is where you come from. How important do you think that is to understand for people to understand the difference between those glorifying and also just the motivation of the past?
Oh yeah, so I'm never glorifying it. If I'm ever talking about my past or about prison or when I was incarcerated, it's never to glorify. If anything, it's just to, if anything, show the younger generation or even grown men or even women, that there's other avenues, especially for struggling. There's other things we can do. There's positive outlets, than just committing self-destructive acts to ourselves and with our actions.
Mhm.
Well, again, I just try to show that there is hope. Don't give up and keep fighting. Um, Never glorifying it though, man. If anything, fuck prison, straight up. But I don't regret it. It's made me who I am today, and I feel God has made me this way and has already chose my journey. So it is what it is. And I take it one day at a time.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. One thing that I always trip out on is I always say jail fucking sucks, right? Like I ain't trying to be in jail. Like if you're there, hey, I understand you're gonna do what you have to do. Like I'm not gonna speak ill or nothing like that. But the system itself, being in jail, that shit.
That's it.
Go ahead, G.
My bad. To add on to what I was really trying to say is, um, never glorifying it, but I just want whoever's watching, hopefully to learn from my mistakes.
Yes, sir.
That's all. But go ahead, brother. My bad.
No, no, exactly that. You know, and it's just saying like jail, you can't do anything. Like the staff tell you when to get up, tell you what to fucking do. That shit sucks, man. Out here, we got to do our own thing, and I'm glad you're able to do your own thing. So let me ask you: was there a particular time in your life when you decided, yeah, I'm gonna do my own thing. I ain't gonna do this anymore. I ain't gonna go back and forth anymore. Like you were raised in the system, you know, you could have easily become institutionalized and made that your home. Was there a specific moment that you can remember that said, "Nah, I'm not gonna do that anymore. I'm gonna do me now."
I would have to say, brother, going to prison, man. Um, seeing like just being in there and seeing some of the shit I did, uh, just made me really think. Like, damn, you really want to keep doing this shit for the rest of your life? Like, this is what you want?
Mm-hmm.
I'm over here thinking like also about my kids in the back of my mind, like they were out there, they probably need my help, my family and kids at the time. So it came down to like almost like an ultimatum, I guess you could say. It's either you want to keep with the up with the bullshit and kick it with the homies in here, or you want to be out there with the family,
Yeah.
being kids and stuff. So I really I had plenty of time to think about that, and not only that, but on how I can better myself and better be a better change and tool in society, So yeah.
Yes, sir. And in there, is that where you were inspired to get your workout on? Because I know a lot of people. I don't know if you gave yourself this label or people have labeled you this, the Burpee King, right? Is so I know even if you didn't give yourself that label, that kind of that goes with you now, right? So
Yeah.
so is that
I'll
where
say
you is that
I'll,
where
I'll say I'll say more of the burpee god. Nah, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Nah, I'm just playing. Nah, there's a real quick. There's the homie. He goes by Burpee King already. He's from San Diego, the San Diego area. Shout out to the homie. That's the real Burpee's King.
yeah,
Uh, I don't want. I don't need a nickname. People know what I. I'll let
yeah.
my actions speak. But go. What were we saying though, brother? My bad.
Yeah, is that where you became inspired to start your fitness journey? And how was it? Like, was it one day you're fucking doing your thing, and then that shit just hit you, or was it like when you didn't do it, did it make you feel a certain way? Like how did you get to that point where you're like, yeah, this is it?
So, a great question. Bro, honestly, I've been active all my life. I was a kid that was out there in the apartments, till later, till a dark time playing basketball, even though it was dark. I was a kid that was playing with the kids. We're playing football in the cement, tackling each other. So I've always been active, running around playing tag. I never played sports or nothing like that, but I was heavily involved in like PE.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always been active, and actually around the time my dad got out, rest in peace, and I believe in
Rest in peace.
2000, 2005, one day he's like, man, let's go to the park. I'm like, all right. This is when he was fresh out. And keep in mind, like me and him were barely building a relationship at the time because I wasn't really close to my father. He was in there. He did his last stretch was about 10 years.
Damn.
So I was already like, yeah, I was still getting to know him. But anyways, we went to the park. We went to the little monkey bars, the little jungle gym, a little for the kids and stuff. And he just started busting out some pull-ups. He just got on the bar and started getting down. And I was sitting there watching like, dang. So I tried. I did a 2 or 3 pull-ups, and I wasn't really good at them at the time, but he's the first one I ever did pull-ups with. But around there, I went to juvenile hall. I started going to juvenile hall around my preteens, around 11, 12 years old. So that's when I started getting more into the exercising as far as like body, like push-ups and all that. That's where it really, really started for me. Camps and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the trip is I had on a truant
So
officer.
I've,
Go ahead,
I've
my bad.
always, my bad. I've always brought. So I started at that age, and I've always had it until an adult. So I want to. Unfortunate to say, when I went to prison. I already had. I've been in juvenile hall and camps, so I already had that experience, or somewhat of being behind walls and being on a soldier tip mindset. Because in there, my mindset was soldier, like warrior type, like just completely different mindset. But yeah, man.
In what's a trip is you talking about you being a youngster at the pull bar. I could imagine that. You know what I mean? Like you see your pops got out after 10 years. He's probably busting those shit down like nothing. Boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom. You're probably a little. I'd imagine a little skinny guy at the time, right? And
yes, sir.
yeah, yeah. So, um, it makes me think about something I had on a truant officer the other day. Like he's not a hoorah, but he was like when kids would ditch school, he would like try to get them on the right track and shit like that. And I asked him, what do you think would help kids? Like a lot of kids, I grew up in Monte, right? So
Yeah,
he was right there in Monte with all of us and shit. And I told him, you seen us, right? Like what do you think would have helped us? And he said more sports programs.
yeah.
I started thinking about that, right? And then I think about what you're saying. And I think how important do you think that is for kids that are young with all that energy to have something like organized sports to kind of keep them on the straight and narrow? Because, like you said, you had that soldier mentality, you had the warrior mentality. Do you think it could have been different? Not that you would change it, but let's say it would have been different if you would have had sports like basketball or football to put that behind.
I think so, brother. I think so, because then it's a different. Again, remember I remember I was saying earlier about finding outlets, different outlets, and to me those would be different outlets playing sports. I know I can't say this. One time, my brother from Compton, shout out to my brother. They did put me in like some YMCA basketball thing. I
Mhm.
was only in it for like 2 games. My brother took me out. I kind of wish he didn't. It's all good. But I think if I would have stayed in that for a little bit longer, I probably would have went a different direction. But hey, things happen, so I don't regret it at all. If anything, I got beautiful kids now, so everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. The only reason I bring that up is because I kind of I was thinking about it that day, and I was just thinking like, man,
I
those.
definitely
Go
I
ahead.
definitely think though definitely more sport programs in the inner city communities, the barrios and all that. Definitely, whether it's and it could be any sports. To me, it would help any community out, in my opinion.
I agree because it gives us a place to be. It gives us a place to be. It gives us discipline, which I really didn't have a lot growing. I did not have a lot of discipline growing up. So it gives us discipline. It gives us a place to be, and it tires you the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like you ain't gonna go home all like, I'll hit the street like I'm
Yeah.
gonna go to sleep.
Fact.
Yeah. So w- how long did you do it in the joint when you went this last time?
I signed a guilty plea deal for 4.5, so I did about 3. Um, yeah, man. On just on that, it was my first case as an adult. So I got lucky with that, and also being in another state where the laws and policies ain't as bad, or ain't as tough. So I got lucky on that. I was looking about at 10 years, but I was lucky to get a little plea deal. I took mines. I did what I did and got to take responsibility, right?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah, man.
After you get out after that, the three and a half, almost four, when you first get out, how difficult was it for you those first couple of months? Because I
It
know
was
those parts are crucial.
very, very crucial, and I don't think a lot of people, only the people that I believe that have gone through it, or the families that are with us barely coming out. It was hard, especially finding work. Uh, it's true, definitely who you know. And at the time where I was at, my situation, I didn't really know too many people in the area. But looking for work, I was going place to place, and everything would go well until they would see my background. So that kind of came with the territory. So I got a little discouraged after a while because I kept getting no's, like no, can't hire you. So I'm like, damn, I even thought one time, like now I see why a lot of us go back.
Yeah,
Because all we need is just an opportunity, just one chance. I believe everybody deserves a chance, an opportunity. But you know what? I kept looking, brother. I kept looking, and finally I found one. So I believe when someone says there's no jobs or hollers, there is out there. You gotta find them, man. Just there's a lot out there, really. I think so.
What
That
was
was,
that?
that was
What,
big. The discouraging things getting out is that, brother. And also when I ain't gonna lie, when I be eating with the family, um, my old lady will make the dinner and stuff. I'll come home from work and me and the family be sitting down eating. And then next, get a loud knock on the door, bang, boom, boom. It's my parole officer.
yeah.
He comes in and I'm in the middle of eating. So though I used to get embarrassed about that. That's my family. I don't want my kids to see that. So things like that kind of made me think, like, you know what? You need to get your shit together, Moses. So yeah, man.
What was the what was that one opportunity you got? Like do you recall what it was, and how did that make you feel when you got it? Like, fuck, somebody's finally taking a chance on me.
Um, dang. Okay, I'm trying to think because there was two jobs that I ended up doing. I ended up doing janitorial work. Um, I was learning how to like to do carpets for apartments and stuff and painting and all that. So it was like maintenance type of stuff. Uh, a guy gave me a shot. They gave me a shot, man. Shout out to them. And after that, I got into plumbing, bro. It was like a little hole in the wall mom and pop shop, Junior's Plumbing. Shout out to Junior. He gave me the opportunity, and I became an apprentice plumber, man. That was pretty cool. I ain't gonna lie. That was cool at the time. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah, oh yeah. Especially an apprentice, they're gonna teach you everything, and you get paid along the way.
yeah, that was cool. That was a cool opportunity for sure.
How long after that did you start your channel, and what made you decide to start doing that? Like, I'm pretty sure you were already working out. What made you start to say, "Fuck it, I'm gonna record this shit and I'm gonna talk about it"?
Well, the thing is, bro, at that time there wasn't really a lot of us. I started about 3, 4 years ago. It's crazy how time is just flying.
Yeah.
I think if it was I was watching your interview, I think, brother. I think you're on the Tony A, and you're saying you started about 3 or 4 years ago too, right?
Yeah, but
Correct?
yeah, it'll be a three. Fuck, I don't even remember. I think, yeah, about 3 years in September, if I remember correctly, or four. I'm not sure, but it's somewhere
Yeah.
around there.
So yeah, I started about I would at least 4 years back,
Mhm.
and one day I had an Obama phone at the time, and I went through I touched the YouTube app, and I seen on the YouTube app the little camera plus sign to upload a video.
Yeah.
I seen that. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna press that, see what happens. I pressed it and it said upload a video. So I thought, oh, well, I can upload a video. Okay, cool. Um, so I went outside and I just put my camera against the wall and I'm like, man, I'm just gonna do some pull-ups and share some of my thoughts, and see what. Hopefully, this can help someone out. And that was my whole idea. And whether it works or it doesn't, oh wow, at least one video would be cool. Hopefully, this can help someone out. And that was my first video ever, bro. And it took off from there, really. And there was a few times where I was like, man, fuck YouTube, But I stuck with it, bro. And that's kind of where it all began. And then the burpees kind of blew me up. The burpees is what kind of, I guess, took off for me, So at the time, so that's kind of how it started.
How much of a change was it for you to give your thoughts on there, and like because I know at times we got to hold back, right? Like, how long did it take for you to say, like, okay, I'm gonna say this, I can't share this? Like, how long before you were comfortable is what I mean to say.
It was. It took a little bit, bro. And actually, I remember one of the first videos, and I remember if you guys go on my YouTube channel, it's under Moses Cuevas. You guys can see all these videos, but it was learn from your mistakes. I remember that video, and that's just talking about learning from our mistakes, and
Mhm.
and honestly, all my videos, brother, I just speak from the heart. I sometimes I pray and I ask God that Father God, I hope this helps someone out and the whole whoever, anybody. And yeah, brother, it's sometimes from the mind, my thoughts, and it's part of my soul, So, and majority of the time I do pray, and I hope it helps someone out, And that's pretty much where that stuff comes from,
Yeah. How did you feel when people were like fucking with it? Like, hell yeah, this is because you said you wanted to help somebody out, right? And you probably intended, maybe 2 or 3 people will see it. But when you start seeing like thousands of people saying like, man, like this is really helping me out. And I'm not gonna lie, and I'll share it right here, right? Like, not take away from your story, but I want to add to your story by mentioning this. So I've been struggling a lot with working out lately, and I lost about 100 pounds about 2 years ago. Unfortunately, after COVID,
Bro, I thought you're a little bigger back then.
I was big and then small and then big again, right? So it's like that. That's where I'm at now. I lost about 100 pounds. I gained it back after COVID, and I've been having just issues with going to the gym every day because my gym, my trainer's in Santa Monica. That's my boy, but that's just far as fuck. And then I have this going on. I don't have a lot of time to get shit going. So I just said, you know what? I've been trying to avoid burpees because I ain't trying to fuck up my knees and shit, but I'm gonna see if I can do them. Boom, busted a burpee. Like I got this shit. Wow, busted another one, right? And you did inspire me to just say, fuck it, man. Like you don't need a lot. I used to do this shit in YTS. You know, I used to do this shit in YTS. I can do this shit now. So yeah, you inspire thousands of people. How does that feel to know that people are looking at you and just saying like, man, he's giving me something. He's showing me something.
Uh, I'm humbled by it, brother. And I didn't want this what I have with the platform I have, you know. I'm just a young Chicano, you know, just trying to make it. And I feel God is, or I have this purpose for a reason. I was given the responsibility for a reason, you know. And it's at times it's hard.
Mhm.
It's pressure. It's a challenge, but I love it though. You know, I don't mind being in adversity. Now I've learned you to just embrace both the good and the bad, you know.
Yeah,
But as far as touching people around the world, um, it blows my mind sometimes, you know. Uh, it also though you guys keep me going though too. It goes both ways, and I share that too sometimes. That as much as I may be helping you guys out, you guys help me out too. You know, you guys make me remind me to stay on the right path, to keep working hard. You know, so um, I guess we're all connected somehow.
yeah,
It's like a domino effect. Let's keep that. I feel there's enough negativity, enough bullshit going on already. Why keep it? That's why I just stay in my own lane. I just mind my own, you know. I already got enough problems in my personal life as it is, you know. I'm good. I'm blessed, but you know, I just try to mind my own business and you know, work on my craft and what I can do better, you know. There's always something improving.
yes.
So, yeah.
And I'm glad you brought up that word adversity, because that does want to. I do want to get into the mental health aspect of it, right? And one thing that I think is connected to mental health when it comes to fitness, what fitness will help you do is overcome challenges and adversity. And even though you might be like, I'm gonna get 100 today, and you can do one of two things, right? It's like you can get that 100, or maybe something happens where you're not able to get that 100. But the thing is, learning from that adversity. Fuck it, you can't get the 100 today, you can get 120 tomorrow, right? And that's going through the adversity. How much of that do you think is connected, and how has that helped you going through your journey?
See, that's okay. That's one thing I'm gonna be honest about being incarcerated, or I'm thinking about even our brothers and sisters that are in the military. You and there you like you build you can, not everybody chooses to do this, but you can build a strong mindset. I almost call it like a killer instinct, like a tunnel vision type of focus and concentration. And for me in there by working out, that's something not mastered, but I got really great at. And as far as like the mindset and the mind strength, while exercising for long periods of time, building the endurance, you know. And I remember there's one point in time, bro, like me and one of the homies were working out for like almost damn near 2 hours straight. And I remember I was in my cell and I was just tired and sweaty. I was just in my boxers. My whole room was fogged up. But and then after a certain a period of time, it just became mental. Like I was just by myself in my own thoughts. I didn't even feel my body no more working. It was just all my mind, and it was quiet, and it's a trip, bro. But it's just building. That's one thing I can give about being incarcerated that I can be honest that it has helped me, and that's just building a tougher mindset, and
Yeah.
that's tackling, whether it's goals or things we struggle with in life. You got to have a strong mindset in anything you do. Through the ups and downs. Def for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and as a trainer, how much of that do you implement on your clients? Because there is a point, right? It's a fine line of when they actually had too much and when they think they've had too much.
Um, it's more. Well, I let it be known and clearly from the beginning, bro, that I feel my opinion, my philosophy on just fitness and exercising. To me, it's not just about the physical aspect. When I work with my people or my clients, I it's also I let it be known that it's also mentally and spiritually.
Hmm.
So I focus on the mindset and then also spiritually too. Like if the client or the person doesn't have no spiritual beliefs or a higher power, but most importantly, believing in ourselves, so a lot of us get discouraged, because we want to see results like that. But you got to be patient with the process. We have to be patient with the process. None of the things going to come over overnight. Great things take time sometimes and hard work.
Yes, sir.
My bad. I don't know if that really answered the question, bro, but
No, it did though, and it adds to the conversation because that's a key thing. I think that a lot of people get confused and actually helps to discourage people is that time factor. It's not happening now. It's not happening. Shit. And it's like I'm at 20. It's gonna take forever to get to 100. I just use 100 as an example. You know what I mean? I'm at 20. It's gonna take forever to get there. But it's like the longer you go with it, right? You continue at it. You're gonna get to that 100. If once you get to 60, you've done way more than you need to go. You get to 70, you're even closer. 80, you're closer until you're there. So I think it's I think you've answered it perfectly because it shows you need that. You need to understand when you're gonna push yourself and how you can push them because you need to know like you got to be patient with yourself and you look and you could see, all right, maybe you're not at that level yet, but you
yes,
will you will be there. And you as a trainer, I'm sure you know you can get them there. But then
yeah,
they had to believe in themselves to understand like just because I can't do like we'll be honest. If cats are like, I'm gonna challenge Moses to a fucking burpee challenge. You're probably gonna lose. Like not you, but somebody like me will probably lose. But that doesn't mean that eventually I can't keep
right,
up with you. You know what I
right,
mean?
right. Then I always say this too, brother, that you know, all of our bodies are a little different. All of our journeys are gonna be a little different. So not everything I do is gonna help the next person out. So at the end of the day, it really becomes down to us. How hard do we want it? The consistency, the discipline, the diet, because eating does matter. And rest. Rest is also important. A lot of people say go no days off, this and that, but personally, I think that's all. I don't believe in that. I believe in rest. I believe letting your body, our machine, our temple, to rest. And rest is another important thing. Stress. Us stressing is a silent killer.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Releases those stress with that with the cortisone levels fucks you up.
Yeah.
And it's a trip. You said something on a video. I think it was today or yesterday, where you were talking about, and you just said it right now. How not everything works for people, and what works for you. And then I'm talking about mental health now. What works for you is just like finding something and basically, I forgot exactly what you said, but you were like, you focus your energy somewhere else, or you basically redirect that
Right.
energy somewhere else. Um, how important do you think it is for uh, an individual, I should say, to know who they are mental health wise in order to tap into that and do it the right way? Because I think a lot of the times what people do, and a mistake you can make is be like, I'm gonna do what Moses does. but it's like that might, like you said, that might not work for you. And what kind of advice would you get to somebody's like, "Oh, how do I know what works for me?"
To keep stay curious, stay open minded, and keep trying, keep looking for the net. Not saying to chase everything, but be creative. Do things you never like do things you never even thought you'd be doing, as far as finding other outlets and giving that energy to something else. And that can be going to the shooting range, golfing, so many things, going on a walk on the beach, shit that doesn't even cost money you can do. You can go
Yeah,
to a park, it's totally how you want your energy. I mean, how do you want to waste your energy? It's either you're going to do a negative or a positive way,
yeah,
and really the cure is really up to you on how you want to deal with it, you
yeah.
know?
What works for you best? And for me, it's always talking. I love, like, there'll be times where something's on my mind, and I'll share. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'll share parts of my life, and like maybe it's oversharing at times, but sometimes I just need to get that shit off my chest because I ain't trying to have that shit pent up inside of me because I don't want that shit to explode.
Yeah. Yep. Keeping
So
things keeping things in is I mean, I've struggled with that, keeping things, feelings or whatever, emotions, thoughts, let it out. Let it out to anybody that may be holding on to something, man. Let it out. Cry if you have to. It's all right to cry. Scream. Go let it out, man. But do it in a smart way, of course.
yeah,
Yeah.
you talked about in another one of your videos about dealing with the depression and how do you like, because that's something that unfortunately has been taboo in the past in our community, right? Like, you're not depressed, like get over it kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
did you kind of get to the point where you're like, nah, I do have depression, I battle depression, and how do you go about just overcoming it and dealing with it? Because depression isn't something that you're gonna just be done with, right? That shit will come back. Sometimes it'll be easier than others to deal with. How do you deal with that?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I've never been diagnosed or anything like that with anything. I never seen professional help, but I know I got issues. Whether it's depression or whatever it may be, it's something. But I want to be honest about it, and I know I ain't the only one out here struggling.
Mhm.
You know, um, but how do I deal with it? Just finding things that I asked somebody when I lost my dad, brother. I asked somebody important in my life. I asked that person, what do you think I should do? Because I was so hurt, bro. This is what last year I lost my dad. I went to a really bad place, and I was like, I dug myself in a dark hole, a deep dark hole, and I was in there. And I remember asking that person, "What do you think I should do?" That person told me this, and it stuck with me. That person says, "Do what makes you happy. Do what brings you peace." And that can be in different aspects, in all aspects in life, so that stuck with me. So to answer your question, as far as like dealing with depression, again, it just goes back. I pray, bro. I spend time with my kids. When I do got my bad days, but I do my best just to fight through it. I want to live. I want to be here a long time. So it's a everyday battle. It's an everyday fight as far as you know um being at peace. Because
Yeah,
the enemy's always around the corner, bro. And that's his job, is to destroy our happiness and peace. Not to sound corny or nothing like that, but that's really how I feel, though. That's really how I feel.
yeah, definitely, definitely. And I like that advice that was given to you. You got to do what makes you happy, because especially when it comes to losing someone you love, that's gonna hurt. It's gonna feel like a part of you's gone, but at the same time, you're gonna have to smile again eventually. Like life will continue, and you can't just. It's kind of like going back to the workout metaphor. This is why I think working out is important to mental health. Because if you just do, if your goal is 100 and you do 10, and you just can't do anymore, you just can't lay there. You're gonna have to get back up. You're gonna have to get up and finish what you were doing, and that's like
Yeah,
life. You can't just be like, ah, fuck, man, it hurts, and it's justifiably hurts. But you have to move on, like not move on, but you know what I mean. You're gonna have to live your life. You remember that person, keep that person in mind, but just you're gonna have to live your life. What do you think?
Yeah, no, and that's what it came down to. Javier, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Javier. Hey, that's what it came down to. I told myself like Moses, either you're gonna fucking like just give up, and that's pretty much what I did. Honestly, I gave up on myself. I was giving up on myself, and it came down like it's either you're gonna fucking like you're saying give up, let it like take that shit, or you're gonna fucking get up and do something about it. You're gonna take some type of action to at least make the situation a little better, you know.
Mhm.
And I decided, you know, I'm gonna fight for mine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fight to get out of this sadness. I'm gonna fight to get out of this depression. I'm gonna fight to get out of this addiction. I'm not saying I had any, but for any of us, whatever we struggle with, you know, it's not over. There it is. Anything's possible, man. And I feel like if I can do it, any of us can do it. You know, as far as getting out of that hole of whatever pain and struggle it may be, you know.
Yeah. And what's the trip is coming from the backgrounds we have, and I know, like I said, we were talking about earlier, the way some people do things doesn't work for everybody, but the way I deal with it is similar to what you're saying. Like, it's a fight. I always feel like I'm being challenged. There's always the challenge, right? And if something comes at me, if life is coming at me strong, I'm gonna swing back. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. Like, fuck that shit. I ain't going out. That's what I always think is that's a YA thing, right? I ain't going out. Charlotte, fuck that, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so uh so it's like I ain't going out like that. And that's what
Shout out, hey, shout out to all the YA babies too.
what's that on my YA baby? Yeah, yeah. So and I think that works for cats like us because you can't go out. Ain't no going out, right? Ain't no one gonna beat us. Like, do you have that mindset? Is that what keeps you going every day? Or obviously you have that mindset, but how often do you have to remind yourself of that? Like, I ain't going out. Fuck that shit.
I would say, um, I would say, you know, getting a little older, I've gotten tougher with it as far as like again dealing with adversity. You know, the times. Um, I've learned just to fucking like not to sound like cocky, but like smile. Like how you said too, smile at the hard times, you know, and it's not even smiling, it's more of me just being humble, bro.
Mhm.
And that's all, you know. You know, there's a saying, I guess, that with every lesson there's a blessing, whether it's a good blessing or not, you know, there's always something we can get out of whatever situation or outcome, you know. But yeah.
I like the word you use because it's a word that we need a lot of, but I think there's a balance too, and especially if you're trying to do something great, and that's humility. So how hard is it for you dealing with humility and that ego that's necessary to keep moving, right? Because there is kind of an ego that you need where, like, I can do this, I can do this. That ain't knowledge, but at the same time, you got to keep yourself grounded. How hard is that to balance that? Because it's a very very fragile little teeter totter there.
It is, man. I think about what's important at the end of the day. Like I think about what's really important and who's really gonna be hurting. So I try to base my actions and game plan, you know, off of the people that are affected, whether it's in a good or bad way, you know. And I do believe in karma. I do believe in what you put in this world or this universe will come back, whether it's good or bad, you know. And I feel I'm just a messenger. I'm a believer in God, and you know, I'm gonna be here just we're gonna be here just for a short period of time, you know. And I feel like there's something after this, you know. So I'm just doing my best to make a change and be a change. All the my background, I mean, that's the past, been there and done it. So I want to show the all generations from all walks of life that anything's possible, you know.
Yeah.
Change is possible. Um, you know, another thing too that I feel like we don't talk a lot about in our communities is like business. Like we're not really talking about how to run a business, open up businesses. That's another, I think, uh, mental illness. That's why your show, when you say I want to talk about mental health, that's the conversations I want to have, because it not only runs through me, or but my family, the people I love, the streets we come from, So it is definitely a serious topic that I would love to be a part of.
Definitely, definitely, and that's why I had you on, because I always, it's easy, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to disrespect anyone, but it's easy just to tell war dogs that's cool. We could do that, right? But it's like, what else are we gonna add to the conversation? Like you said, we got to have something else added to the conversation, and that's why I hit you up when I hit you up, and yeah, the timing wasn't right at that time, but I'm glad it's right now, because I seen, like, man, homie isn't just telling war dogs. He isn't just like, yeah, I'm over here, I'm gonna feed him vato and this and that. Like, nah, he's sending a message, and that's what I appreciate. Is that's why I reached out, and now the timing was right. I'm glad you came on, because it is. You're right. It's about what more are you gonna add to this conversation? Another thing that you brought up right now is something that I'm huge on: entrepreneurship. Right?
Yeah.
You're wearing it on your chest right now, right? That that's
Yes.
that's that's your brand.
Yes, sir.
How important is that for you? Like for us to have something that is ours. That you know what I mean? Like, why sport Levi, Nike, sport fucking Legacy, right?
Right. Yeah, I feel it's very important. I mean, I was not taught at all anything about business, especially from my peers, or like, I just, my family, nobody, to be honest with you. But so I kind of had to learn everything on my own, or surrounding myself with other entrepreneurs or business minded people, whether they're just starting off or they've been in the game for a while. I see, that's another thing too, you guys. We gotta stay hungry. We gotta stay hungry. We gotta keep learning. There's infinite information and knowledge out there to be learned. There's never enough to not learn. So knowledge is power, but without wisdom, it could be disastrous. So definitely use it for the right reasons. But yeah, man. What are we talking about again? I got lost my.
Just like you said, starting your own business, and like you were saying, like, and
Yeah.
you have
So
to you have to be willing to learn too. But go ahead, continue.
so with the business aspect, as far as YouTube, if anybody's interested in starting their own uh whatever it may be, but you want to be on social media platforms, first and foremost, I want to say, from what I've learned about, is be you, be original. People will sense when people are faking it. True or not, Javier?
Oh,
You
it's
know,
true. Yeah, yeah. Like, if people will be like, "Why aren't I doing well? I'm doing what everybody else is doing." Like, don't do
right?
that.
Definitely. That's why I love what Javier's doing. I seen the little, is the puppet thing, or the little
Yeah.
cartoon. That's
Yeah,
that's cool. That's dope.
I appreciate
And I
it too.
think it's really creative. And so back to the business part. I don't know everything. I'm still learning to this day, but I've learned through experiences, through failure, and just from watching or studying, doing my homework on the greats, and just listening. Listening is powerful. Be careful what you let into your mind, and whatever you listen or pay attention to.
Yeah, yeah. There's kind of, and like you said, like, I don't want to sound too corny, but if you listen too much to, like, drama and negativity, I think that will draw you in. Eventually you'll be part of that, and it's like you could be like, "Oh, nah, I'm not gonna engage, but I'll listen to it." Like, it's better just not to hear any of that shit. It's better to block all that shit out. Somebody says something, like, I don't want to know, right?
Right?
Because that's not something, like, you're right, you invite that shit in, you could be
Yes,
consumed by that.
you're letting we would be letting that energy enter our aura, our energy. And if we got a good energy going on, and that shit's trying to, it's just, it's not gonna be a good mixture. Uh,
Yeah, a lot of times it's not even worth listening to anyway. It's like, well, what did you get at it? Like you said, you have to understand what you're listening to, why you're listening to it, and what you're gonna get out of it, right?
yes, sir.
Everything could be like a lot of things. Yeah, there's definitely room for entertainment. There are times to just chill, but for the most part, there's you're gonna learn from everything. Yeah, so make sure that, yeah, that's something that you're gonna want to hear and it could benefit you. Not in a scandalous way, like, you got to game everybody up or not, but it's like you can learn from everybody around you.
Yeah, but and he's exactly right, you guys. But who we surrounding ourselves with? Think about who you surround yourself with. Whoever's watching us or listening, who are we surrounding ourselves with? Who's in our circle? Who are we allowing to affect our daily habits, our daily way of thinking? Be
Hmm.
cautious. Who stay away from the negative. I mean, there's gonna be times when it's there, but I say love from a distance.
Yeah,
Bye, hug. I gotta go.
yeah.
So that's for anybody really. You never know who can be. You don't know anybody's intentions. You you want to know what people's intentions are too. Do they have the good intentions for you? Are they why are they? So man, I'm over here. I appreciate you, man, because I'm actually this is like therapy for me too, man. Believe it or not, Javier. So thank you too.
And I appreciate it, man. I love having these conversations because you're so right. And there's times where I've talked about this before, because I think it's a huge thing. I don't think I'm better than anyone. So I don't want anyone to think like, oh, dog, I can't chill with you because of this. It's like, nah, but at the same time, I have to look out for me and mine, right?
Right,
So there's certain things like we're growing at different rates or we're moving in different paths sometimes. And it's like, it's
right,
still, like you said, it's all love. I'm gonna see
right.
you, I'm gonna embrace you, I'm gonna say you with much love, homie. But I gotta move on to my journey,
Yes,
right?
sir.
It's like I'm
Yes,
about to
sir.
move on to my journey, and then if you want to keep going to that journey, that's your journey, G. But that ain't the journey I'm going on anymore. So we can have to part ways right here. But much love to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, and this is something, and I want to know where you stand on this. I think a lot of the times us from the streets, because we broke bread with certain homies, we came up a certain way. We feel an attachment, a sense of obligation to our boys, right? And there are times where we can allow that loyalty to cloud our judgment. How important do you think it is for us to say, just on some grown man shit, like, you're my boy, I love you, dog, but I have to do something different.
That's a hard one, man, because you know, I believe in to any young man out there or man transitioning into I don't not even transition. I don't even use that word, but I'll just say this. I believe we all, excuse me, ladies, I believe we all as men we have two nuts. You know, don't forget whoever's watching, you're a man or you're a leader. Don't be a follower, be a leader. Um if you just know whoever if you go do that for the hood or the home, whoever, and you're gonna there's a possibility you might have to pay a price for that, and that's called doing life.
Mhm.
So just be prepared for that. Be prepared to eat soups for the rest of your life. Be prepared to be waiting on mail, or you know, yeah, yeah. That's my thoughts on that. You
Yeah.
know,
The only reason I bring it up is because, like, for me, it was difficult to just be like, because I'm good with my homies still to this day,
yeah,
but there were times where I felt like, damn, I want to be out there with the boys because they need me and shit, right? But at the same time, I understood my family needs me, so I needed to be there with my family, and it's kind of like one's gonna have to give. And I started thinking about it like, man, the homies are gonna go on without me. They don't need me like that. That was more of an ego thing, right? Like that was me trying to like, oh, they like, and it's like my family, they really do need me. Like
yeah,
I'm a vital part of the spoke in that wheel. If that shit comes off, that shit can unravel. Not that my wife could. I'm pretty sure she'll land on her feet and do it if something were to happen. But why even put it through that?
right,
Yeah,
yeah. Um, yeah, man. I just it's really that type of lifestyle, man, can be very deceiving. And I just know that if you want to be whoever wants to be involved that type of life, man, there a lot of evil stuff do happen, and
yeah,
for me, I could say this humbly, I did my thing, I earned mine for my body, and I'm able to walk away. Not even walk away, because I still fuck with the homies.
Yeah.
You know, I make sure that, you know, we keep tabs on each other. But, you know, I have kids in the family too, so my way of thinking had to change, brother. It had to change, you know. So it's either, you know, stay with the bullshit. You gotta choose your path, really. And then, like you said, like what we've been talking about, it's all our journey, you know. We all have different journeys, and it's really what path you wanna take.
Yes,
Now that
sir.
I'm really thinking about it, because
Yeah.
you know, there's some homeboys, they stuck with it, you know, and but look what happened to them. Where are they at? Like, let's
Yeah.
be honest.
Yeah. And just to tell the truth, the three cats that I admired like a motherfucker. My pops, my homie Little Man, and homie Listo, my pops' cousin, or my like my cousin, right? They passed before they were 50. Well, my pops was 52. He was the oldest when he passed because they drank all day and they chilled. And much love. I love my pops to death to this day. Right? Rest in peace. I still love him and I still think highly of him. But the thing is, when you abuse your body and you refuse to move on and grow, like life is gonna move ahead, and
Right,
sometimes that's just gonna run you over, and
right.
it's unfortunate because I had to see people that I admired and respected put to rest before they even had retirement. You know what I mean? Like 50, like 52 is young, and that was the oldest one.
Yeah, yeah, man. I'm very grateful because I kicked it a lot with the older homies. So I got a lot of my sketch, a lot of my advice from the OGs, and from my family, from the veteranos, you know. But I'm grateful that, you know, I was in there also when I was incarcerated, when I was in prison. I was in there with the homies that they're doing life. You know, they're in there for murder, and they would tell me, even the older homies, they would tell me, youngster, don't come back to this.
Yep.
Don't come back to this. This is bullshit right here where we're at. You know, the homies would tell you, do something with yourself, you know. And I remember one time, probably the best advice my dad had ever given me is to let it go. It's not worth it. We had a pretty deep conversation, but those are the two things he said: to let it go, because I was in a situation and I was about to do something off of impulse of thinking. I was gonna do something, not a good thing, bro, that could have, you know, put me back in prison. And I actually went to my father to talk to him about it,
Hmm.
because I was about to make that move and do it and handle business, you know. And this is recent, and my dad told me straight up before he died, like, it's not, let it go. He told me, let it go. I said, all right. And I'm glad. And he just said, you know, that type of life also is just, it's not worth it, you know. So I'm just sharing my personal thought. You guys can fuck with it or not. You're gonna do what you're gonna do at the end of the day. But I'm just sharing what's helped me, and I'm giving me and Javier. I'm sure we're just giving you guys a heads up.
Yes,
That's all.
yes, sir. Uh, a thing that I focus on a lot here is growth, and you touched on that right now, and I want to elaborate on that a little bit more. uh, I forgot who it was. It said, I think they said Muhammad Ali or somebody. I forgot, but they said if you're the same person you were 10 years ago, you wasted 10 years of your life. Do you agree with that? And what do you? I want you to add on to that. What do you think?
Yo, what was that saying again? How did
It says that if you're the same person you are 10 years ago, you wasted 10 years of your life.
I like that? I agree with that. And you know, it makes me think about me. Like, am I really doing enough, you know, to be accomplishing my goals? Like, am I really working hard enough? Like, I'm thinking about, when you say that, I'm thinking about myself, and like, I need to, you know, there's always room for improvement, man. But yeah, man, I believe in change. I believe not only in change, I believe in growth, making progress. I've been using that word a lot lately for some reason, just the word progress. As long as we're making some type of progress, as long as we're making baby steps forward, that's all we can really do. You know, I mean, any type of progress is good enough than going backwards, you know. So even if it's baby steps, you guys just keep making progress, man. Keep growing, keep learning, you know. I like talking to different people from different walks of life. Even to keep it real, like homeless people. I have some interesting like if they need some money, I'll shoot like, or if they want some drink, I'll offer them. That's just the kind of person I am. But some of the conversation I've had with them, then men and women, they're very smart, intellectual people too. You know, their situation just ain't right. You know, but
Yeah.
you know, I can learn something off of life. They can be older than me. You know, and not only that, you can meet corporate people, of course. You know, also intellectual minds, but you know, that's why I love talking to being open minded sometimes with whoever it is in life, you know, because I feel like we all have something to bring to the table, whether we realize it or we don't.
Yeah, and you mentioned that earlier in the conversation, and I agree with you 100%. Anyone you deal with, you could learn from, right? It's like you said though, you have to be willing to, you have to be open to learning. If you think you know everything, then you know as much as you're gonna learn, right? Like
Right.
you're not gonna learn anything else because you know everything. So
Right.
fucking good luck to you. But if you go in there with an open mind, then you could learn something from anybody you encounter. Every day you could learn something new. And I think that's the beauty of life. If you have the opportunity and if you have the ability, learn every day. Add to your and I hate to go back because I always go back to that fighter mentality, right? We call it the G attitude right here. I always go back to it, right? And one thing is like I add that shit to my arsenal. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
this is another thing that I learned. This is gonna help me down the line. And a lot of
Right.
times it does. A lot of times there's times where shit gets rough. Shit gets like fuck. I've had it like this enough already. Like, damn, man, can't shit go my way? And then I snap out of that shit. Fuck no, boy. You better get your ass out there and you better make this shit happen. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So, hey, honestly, bro, that's how I talk. That's how I talk to myself when I have no motivation at all. Like this is a secret. Like when I'm just laying there, or like I know I need to work out, because I have my days when I don't. I'm gonna be honest. When I don't, I just want to chill.
Mhm.
You know, but on those days that I just want to chill and I know I need to work out, I talk shit to myself, bro. I'll be like, man, get your ass up, Moses, and go do some push-ups.
Yeah.
So I will call myself out in my own mind. That's how I motivate myself. So we were talking about earlier about how to find different things to help us or to motivate us. So for one thing for me, I would pretty much talk shit to myself.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I would push myself. Like, get your ass off the couch, start doing some push-ups, you know. So again, it's just finding what helps us, you know, find that thing, find that therapy, find the things, even if it's may seem stupid, give it a shot, give it a try, you know.
Yes, sir. And I don't want to take a too much more of your time, but would you be okay with answering some questions from the chat?
Yeah, yeah,
All right. So
definitely. I
anyone,
I hope, bro, that this has helped, and I hope you enjoyed our conversation out here,
oh
and
hell
I
yeah,
know I did.
yeah. Hell
Yeah.
yeah. Honestly, is a for when I hear you speak, I always knew like, yeah, we're gonna be able to chop it up. We're definitely gonna be able to chop it up because you mean you're a strong-willed, strong-minded individual, and I know you have a lot to bring to the table, and that's why I said at the beginning,
It's definitely, let's get a part two.
yeah,
I'm with that.
for
I'm
sure.
with that.
But if anyone in the chat has a question, go ahead and put the question in the chat. We have Moses Cuevas here. You'll be here for to answer a few more questions. Perseverance, yes, perseverance is a fucking definite one that we need. Let me see. Let me find out. Oh, that's for somebody else.
By the way, I live by that word perseverance. That's weird that someone put perseverance, because that's one of my favorite words. Is perseverance, persevere. I use that word. I do my best to live by it. It's a part of faith. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I think it's what builds character because there's adversity, there are challenges, and there's
Mhm.
perseverance. Right? Like you can't have perseverance without having that adversity and those challenges. And if you have adversity and challenges, you don't have perseverance, then you do that's a recipe for failure. So you need
Right.
all three of those in your life. And I always say, like, I'm glad. I'm it sucks a lot of the times, like, fuck, man, why'd I gotta go through this shit again? But I'm glad that I'm able to and I'm strong enough to because it pushes me in a direction where it's like, fuck yeah, let's go. Like I'm ready. The next something else comes up, it's not that big. Ah, fuck it. Danny Boy says, I talk to myself the same way. That's crazy. But I think we all gain those strategies from being locked up. I know I did. Juvenile hall instilled those voices in my head to motivate me. That's what's up,
I
G.
I can agree with that. I you know, I definitely I can relate to that too. Actually, yeah.
Fernie Sauce. What up, G? I have a friend that was shot. He can't work out just yet. What he does, let me see what he does. He suggests to get him motivated to push through. Oh, what does he? I think, yeah. I'm dyslexic like a motherfucker, dog. What does he suggest to get him motivated to push through? So homie got shot. He can't work out just yet. So what would you suggest to motivate him?
Man, I'd rather, I could say something. I'd rather talk to him in person, it's different. But if he is trying to get back to normal or to once where he once was, or trying to be better than what he was, I just say stay consistent. Um, and something is always better than nothing.
Mhm.
Again, and I will say this: tell your friend or your brother that whoever got shot to just be patient with the recovering process. Stay patient with it, but definitely don't give up on as far as trying to progress, like to take them actions every day. Because I know it's gonna take work every day to get back to normal. So
Yeah.
definitely stay patient, keep working hard. And I know hard work, all her hard work pays off. I know that's a fact. So he'll be all right.
Yes,
He'll be all
sir.
right.
Brandon Love says, I want to thank you. I'm subscribed to your channel and it gives me motivation regularly. Gracias.
Thank you, thank you.
Let me see here. Renee says, Moses, you are a true inspiration. Vato loco.
Gracias, Renee. Thank you.
So, and before we wrap it up, I wanted to talk about your clothing line. Uh,
Okay.
I want to make sure we touch on that. So you do have a clothing line that you put out there. When did you start that, and where could we purchase items?
So it's Eternal Legacy. It's my brand. I started, I believe, in new 2019. Um, you can find my clothing brand on my YouTube channel, Moses Cuevas, and you can go browse on my store on my YouTube channel, and it will actually have my clothing brand there, Eternal Legacy. But that's pretty much it on my YouTube channel. On any of my social media platforms, Moses Cuevas or Cuevas underscore Moses. Also, if you guys, I offer personal training. So if you guys are interested in that, DM me or email me for full details. My email is cuevasmoses1994 at gmail.com. And again, if you guys want to purchase a shirt, my YouTube channel, Moses Cuevas, I have the store on there. And yeah, man, should be able to find it.
I'll put the link on the bottom after the interview. We'll get one more question and then we'll start wrapping it up. Danny Boy says, ask Moses if he's ever had group workout or if he'll. Man, I gotta let me start over. Like this is what we say, gotta be patient with ourselves. You know what I mean? Oh, you're stumbling. Ask Moses if he will ever hold group workouts again in the future. I remember I wanted to make it to one of his meet and workout sessions, but I didn't have the resources like I do now.
Uh, to answer your question, brother, yes, I will. I'll have more in the future. Um, if that's what you guys want, and that's what you guys need for the people, then yeah, man. Cause I do like little community group workouts. Javier, you should come out too, bro, with the family. Where you bring the kids. I do. So I'll put everybody through a crazy militarized slash prison style exercise routine. No weights, no nothing. We go to the park. And I remember there was kids participating last time, and they did a great job. So it was cool as a family thing. But yeah, man, to answer your question, yeah, definitely in the future, I will definitely be having more group meeting workouts for
Yeah,
sure.
well, let me know, G. Like I said, I'm back on this shit. I'm doing the burpees right now just to get the lungs back, to get the legs back in order. After that, I'll be going back to boxing again and getting that shit going. So for
Yeah.
sure, definitely would love to have a part two. Uh, Brenda's asking about your diet. Maybe next time we could talk about dieting, discipline, and all of that goes with it. Because I know it's like you were saying earlier, what it comes down to is like you were saying, it's a journey. This is all of our journey, and these are things we need to pick up these little bits and pieces to complete our journey.
Right. Definitely.
Well, again, I appreciate you jumping on, my boy. Much love. Gracias, for sharing that knowledge with us. Gracias for sharing your story. Look forward to a part two. Um, do you have anything else you want to say before we wrap it up?
No, I just want to give a shout out to my kids. I want to let them know I love them, all of them. Shout out to everybody that be fucking with me. I just want to say much love to everybody. Keep fighting no matter what. Don't give up. Take it day by day and just enjoy the process, man. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for having me on here, bro. And another question I have is: this gonna be on your YouTube channel, or where's this video going? 'Cause I would love to send my people.
Yeah, this is gonna be on my YouTube channel. It's on my YouTube channel right now. I'll send you the
Okay.
link afterwards. It'll take me a minute for it to upload completely, so I can download it and share the file with you if you want the file. But yeah, it's on my YouTube channel, incrediblejavier.com. I mean, youtube.com/incrediblejavier. And
Yeah.
before I wrap it up, G, I just wanted to know if you could stay on real quick because I wanted to ask you something right after. But
Yeah. Yeah.
go ahead and wrap it up here. Thanks everybody for the tapping in. Thanks for the questions provided, the chat. Much love to the Nasty Crew. Much love to all my YA babies. And with that, we out. Peace.